Why did a stranger think I'd give up my paid upgrade for nothing? The woman crouched beside my seat looked at me like I was personally responsible for ruining her vacation. Come on, she pressed, her voice taking on that whiny tone people use when they think persistence will change reality. It's just one seat swap. You'd still have a seat on the plane. I adjusted my noise-canceling headphones and smiled politely. No thank you. But she wasn't done trying to guilt me into giving up what I'd paid for. 9 hours from Abu Dhabi to Bali stretched ahead of us, and I'd specifically chosen the premium economy cabin for a reason. The extra legroom wasn't just a luxury. It was survival for someone my height. I'd learned the hard way that cramped airplane seats turned long flights into torture sessions, so when I booked this trip months ago, I'd paid the extra $200 for the smaller forward cabin without hesitation. The boarding process had gone perfectly. I'd settled into my aisle seat, watching other passengers file past toward the main cabin. The woman next to me, Rachel, had the window seat, leaving the middle gloriously empty. Perfect flight scenario achieved. I'd pulled out my travel blanket, adjusted my hoodie, and activated full anti-social mode with my headphones. But 20 minutes after takeoff, my peaceful bubble was shattered by someone who apparently thought airplane seat assignments were gentle suggestions. The tap on my arm forced me to surface from my cozy cocoon and face whatever emergency required my immediate attention. What I found was a woman in her late 20s, perfectly put together, crouched in my personal space with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Wow, you look so comfortable, she began, and I immediately knew where this was heading. Nothing good ever started with observations about how relaxed someone appeared. I was wondering if you'd be willing to do me a huge favor. The favor involved me giving up my carefully chosen expensive seat so she could sit with her friend stuck in the overcrowded main cabin. In exchange, I'd get her middle seat in row 38, sandwiched between strangers with zero extra legroom. I understand you want to sit together, I said, keeping my voice pleasant but firm. But this is a premium cabin. I paid extra for this seat specifically. Her expression shifted from hopeful to incredulous, like I just told her the sky was purple. But you're traveling alone, she argued, as if being solo somehow invalidated my right to comfort. You don't need all this space. We're friends. We actually want to talk to each other. The logic was stunning in its selfishness. According to her reasoning, traveling alone meant I should automatically downgrade my experience to accommodate her poor planning. The airline has a seat selection process, I explained patiently. If you wanted to sit together in premium economy, you could have booked together when you bought your tickets. She looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language, clearly unable to comprehend that actions might have consequences. Her friend appeared then, squeezing down the aisle from the back. Any luck? She asked hopefully. She won't switch. She says she paid extra. They exchanged looks that communicated their shared opinion of my selfishness. Look, I get that you paid a little extra, the original woman continued, the word little dripping with dismissive condescension, but it's just one flight. You could be nice about this. The entitlement was breathtaking. She was arguing that my financial planning should benefit her lack thereof, that being nice meant absorbing the cost of her mistakes. I am being nice, I replied. I'm not making a scene about you bothering me when I was clearly trying to sleep. Her face reddened as reality set in. This is ridiculous. All you're doing is sleeping anyway. You could sleep anywhere. The assumption that my travel experience should conform to her expectations was remarkable. Because I appeared comfortable, I should be willing to make myself uncomfortable for her benefit. That's exactly why I paid for this seat, I said, so I could sleep comfortably on a 9-hour flight. Rachel, who'd been watching this exchange, finally spoke up. There's nothing wrong with keeping the seat you paid for. I'm sure the flight attendants can help you find a solution that doesn't involve bothering other passengers. The hint was clear, but these women were beyond taking hints. Fine, the original woman said, her voice tight with barely controlled frustration. But this is really selfish. We just wanted to enjoy our vacation together. There it was, the final guilt trip, suggesting my refusal was ruining their entire trip, as if sitting 3 rows apart for 9 hours would destroy their friendship forever. I put my headphones back on, pulled my hoodie up, and turned toward the window. The conversation was over, whether they accepted it or not. Behind my closed eyes, I could hear them whispering furiously before trudging back to their assigned seats. The rest of the flight passed peacefully, my extra legroom allowing me to actually sleep instead of arriving in Bali, feeling like I'd been folded into a pretzel. As we deplaned, I caught sight of the 2 women again, both looking cramped and miserable after their night in economy. They shot me dirty looks as they passed, still convinced that I owed them something. Sometimes standing your ground isn't about being mean. It's about refusing to let other people's poor planning become your emergency.